Hey everyone, and a huge welcome to Live and Learn English.
Yeah, we are so thrilled you're here. This is our very first episode, and we're just super excited to get started.
Absolutely. For those of you just joining us, I'm Jesse.
And I'm Taylor, and together we are your hosts for this new journey into American English and culture.
That's right. We started this podcast because we've heard from so many English learners, especially intermediate ones, who feel like they're kind of stuck. They understand a lot, but actually speaking naturally like a native, that's the tricky part, isn't it?
Totally. And also understanding the real American English, the way we talk in everyday life, not just from textbooks. Like, what do people actually say when they run into a friend at the grocery store? Or how do you greet your boss versus, like, a random stranger?
Exactly. So that's what Live and Learn English is all about. We're here to help you bridge that gap. We're going to have really natural, unscripted conversations about, well, everything, but all with the aim of helping you improve your speaking skills, pick up on common phrases, and really just immerse yourself in authentic American culture, you know?
Yeah. Think of it like you're just sitting here with us, having a coffee, and we're just chatting about how Americans really talk. No pressure, just real life English. And a lot of fun, hopefully.
Definitely a lot of fun. So, whether you're looking to sound more natural, understand those tricky idioms, or just get a feel for how we navigate daily life here, you've come to the right place. We're really excited to share this with you. So, since we're talking about how Americans really talk, what better place to start than, well, how we start talking to each other? Greetings.
Ooh, yes. This is such a great topic because I think a lot of learners, they learn hello first, and then they come here and they're like, wait, everyone's saying hi or hey or what's up?
Totally. And that's why our first episode is called Hello, Hey, What's Up? How Americans Really Greet Each Other. We're diving right in. So let's kick it off with the dependable duo, right? Hello versus hi.
The classics. Okay, so Jesse, when do you find yourself actually saying hello? Because I feel like I say hi way more often.
You're right. Hi is definitely more common in everyday casual interactions, but hello still has its place. I'd say hello feels a little more um, formal or like more universal. Like if I'm answering the phone and I don't know who it is, I'll say hello.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or if you're like meeting someone for the very first time in a slightly more formal setting, like a job interview or a professional networking event, hello, nice to meet you, feels, I don't know, a bit more appropriate.
Yeah, it sets a certain tone, doesn't it? It's polite, it's clear. It's also what you'd use if you're trying to get someone's attention who might not see you. Like across a room, you might say hello a little louder.
Okay, so hello for like phone calls, first impressions in formal settings, or getting someone's attention. Got it. Now, hi, that's the versatile one, right?
Oh, hi is the MVP of greetings, honestly. It's just so common, so friendly. You can use it pretty much anywhere with anyone, unless you're in a super formal situation like addressing a judge in court or something. Even then, you might still hear it.
Right? Like, I say hi to my friends. I say hi to the barista at the coffee shop. I say hi to my neighbors, even to like my boss when I see them in the hallway. It just feels warm, but not overly familiar, you know?
Exactly. It's the standard. If you're ever in doubt, hi is almost always a safe bet. It's less formal than hello, but it's not too casual either. It just fits. It's like the comfortable pair of jeans of greetings.
Absolutely. Hi, how are you? Is probably one of the most common things you'll hear when you encounter an American. Whereas, hello, how are you feels just a tiny bit more, I don't know, maybe like you're reading from a script. Not wrong, just not as natural sounding in a lot of casual contexts.
Yeah, those subtle differences that
are so hard to pick up on, but they make such a big impact on sounding natural. So, hi for almost everything, and hello for a slightly more formal touch or when you're answering the phone and you don't know who's calling. Good summary, I think.
So, since we're talking about how Americans really talk, what better place to start than, well, how we start talking to each other? Greetings.
Ooh, yes. This is such a great topic because I think a lot of learners, they learn hello first, and then they come here and they're like, wait, everyone's saying hi or hey or what's up.
Totally. And that's why our first episode is called Hello, Hey, What's Up? How Americans Really Greet Each Other. We're diving right in. So let's kick it off with the dependable duo, right? Hello versus hi.
The classics. Okay, so Jesse, when do you find yourself actually saying hello? Because I feel like I say hi way more often.
You know, you're right. Hi is definitely more common in everyday casual interactions, but hello still has its place. I'd say hello feels a little more formal or like more universal. Like if I'm answering the phone and I don't know who it is, I'll say hello. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or if you're like meeting someone for the very first time in a slightly more formal setting, like a job interview or a professional networking event, hello, nice to meet you, feels, I don't know, a bit more appropriate.
Yeah, it sets a certain tone, doesn't it? It's polite, it's clear. It's also what you'd use if you're trying to get someone's attention who might not see you like across a room. You might say hello a little louder.
Okay, so hello for like phone calls, first impressions in formal settings, or getting someone's attention. Got it. Now, hi, that's the versatile one, right?
Oh, hi is the MVP of greetings, honestly. It's just so common, so friendly. You can use it pretty much anywhere with anyone, unless you're in a super formal situation like addressing a judge in court or something like that. Even then, you might still hear it.
Right? Like, I say hi to my friends. I say hi to the barista at the coffee shop. I say hi to my neighbors, even to like my boss when I see them in the hallway. It just feels warm, but not overly familiar, you know?
Exactly. It's the standard. If you're ever in doubt, hi is almost always a safe bet. It's less formal than hello, but it's not too casual either. It just fits. It's like the comfortable pair of jeans of greetings.
Absolutely. Hi, how are you? Is probably one of the most common things you'll hear when you encounter an American. Whereas, hello, how are you? Feels just a tiny bit more, I don't know, maybe like you're reading from a script. Not wrong, just less natural sounding in a lot of casual contexts.
Yeah, it's those subtle differences that are so hard to pick up on, but they make such a big impact on sounding natural. So, hi for almost everything, and hello for a slightly more formal touch or when you're answering the phone and you don't know who's calling. Good summary, I think. All right, so we've covered hello and hi. Now let's jump into the even more casual end of the spectrum. Hey.
Ooh, hey. This one is so common, but I think it can also be a little confusing for learners because, you know, it's not always a greeting in the traditional sense, is it?
Exactly. It's super versatile. Most often you'll hear hey among friends or like people who know each other pretty well. It's almost exclusively casual. You wouldn't typically say hey to your professor for the first time or, to a police officer.
Right. That would be awkward or maybe even a little disrespectful, depending on the situation. It feels very intimate, like, I know you. We're cool.
Yeah, it implies a certain level of familiarity. But also, hey is fantastic for just getting someone's attention. Like, if I see you across a crowded room and want to wave you over, I might just say, hey.
Or even if someone's like walking in front of you and they drop something, you might shout, "Hey, you dropped your wallet."
Good point. The tone really matters with hey.
A soft, friendly hey with a smile is a clear greeting, but a sharp, loud hey could mean stop right there or look out.
Totally. I remember once, this is kind of funny, I was working retail and a customer came up to the counter and they just pointed at an item and said, hey, just hey. No hello, no excuse me, just hey.
Oh no. That's definitely using it inappropriately. How did you react?
Well, I mean, I knew they wanted help, but it just felt so abrupt. It wasn't friendly, it wasn't rude, just demanding, Like, hey, I need something, deal with it. I just smiled and said, hi, how can I help you? Because I didn't want to mirror that.
Yeah, because for us, hey, as a standalone with no inflection, can sometimes sound a little bit like a command or like you're demanding something. Hey, you is often what you hear when someone's trying to get your attention in a slightly aggressive or urgent way.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to be careful with the context and your tone. If you're using it as a greeting, you want it to be a gentle, friendly hey, usually followed by a question like, hey, how's it going? Or, hey, what's up?
Exactly. So for our learners, hey is great, super common, especially with friends, but remember the tone and usually pair it with another phrase. And maybe don't use it to just demand attention from a stranger in a store unless you really want to sound a little bit rude.
Right. Unless you're trying to stop them from dropping their wallet, then it's totally fine.
Right, that's an exception where urgency overrides formality.
So, building on that idea of pairing hey with another phrase, let's talk about two very common casual greetings that often follow hey or just stand alone. What's up? And how's it going?
Oh, these are like probably the most frequent ones I hear every day. And I think for learners, they're super tricky because they sound like questions, but they're not really, right?
You hit the nail on the head, Taylor. They are almost never literal questions. When someone says, what's up? Or how's it going? They usually don't expect a detailed life update. It's more of a conversational handshake.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I ask what's up and you launch into a 10-minute story about your morning commute, I'd probably be a little overwhelmed.
Oh, that's a good one. Repeating the greeting back. So, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? That happens all the time. It feels a bit silly when you think about it, but it's totally normal.
It is. It's like you acknowledge they spoke to you and you're offering the same casual greeting back. It shows you're receptive. You can also say, I'm good or I'm doing well if you want to, actually give a tiny bit more. But not much is probably the most common.
What about how's it going? Is that similar?
Very similar. How's it going is also not a literal inquiry into the state of your day. It's more of a hello. For that one, you'll hear it's going well, or good, or fine, or not bad. Again, usually a short, positive, or neutral response.
So, if someone asks me how's it going and I'm having a terrible day, I probably shouldn't say, oh, it's actually really awful. My cat is sick and my car broke down and
No, no, Taylor, definitely not. Unless it's your absolute best friend and you're both sitting down for a long chat, keep it light. The cultural expectation for these casual greetings is that you respond briefly and positively, even if it's not entirely true. It's about maintaining a friendly, smooth social interaction.
so it's almost like a reflex. You just say good or not much and keep moving. It's not an invitation to really open up.
Exactly. Think of it as opening the door to conversation, but not necessarily inviting someone into every room of your house immediately. It signals, I'm friendly, I acknowledge you, let's keep it light.
What's the difference between what's up and how's it going? Then, if they're both so casual and not literal, is there any nuance?
That's a great question, Taylor. What's up feels slightly, for me, more informal, maybe a bit more youthful, and sometimes even a little cooler, if that makes sense. It's very common among, say, teenagers or college students, but I use it with my friends all the time too.
Yeah. What's up, man? Feels very laid back.
Whereas how's it going is just universally casual. Anyone can say it to anyone they know in a casual context, regardless of age. It's very safe. You can say how's it going to a coworker you know well, or a neighbor, or a friend. Both are great for starting a conversation, but how's it going might be slightly more versatile across different casual relationships.
So if you're ever in doubt, how's it going is a really good safe bet for a casual situation. And remember, the response is usually short and sweet.
Absolutely. Don't overthink the question itself. Just give a quick, polite, and usually positive reply. It's all about keeping the conversational ball rolling without getting bogged down in details right away. All right, so we've talked about these greetings in theory, but I think the best way for our listeners to really grasp them is to hear them in action. What do you say we do a little role play, Taylor?
Yes, I love a good role play. So for this first one, let's imagine we're just bumping into each other, somewhere super casual, like a coffee shop.
Perfect. I'll be me, grabbing my usual iced latte, and you're just walking in, minding your own business. Ready?
Ready.
Eh, Hey, hey, Taylor.
Oh, hey, Jessie. Oh, hey, what's up?
Not much. Just grabbing some coffee before I head into, the grind. How's it going with you?
I hear that. Yeah, rough start.
Kinda. But it's getting better with caffeine. What are you up to later? Anything fun?
Oh, nothing much. Just probably heading to the office after this, trying to get ahead of some emails. You?
Just gonna chill, actually. Maybe catch up on some reading and finally clean my apartment. So productive or not, we'll see.
You too. Hope the coffee helps. Talk soon.
Later.
And scene.
Nailed it. See how natural that felt? We used, hey, what's up? How's it going? And the responses were all very brief. Not much. Good. Kinda. It was all very much a casual encounter.
Exactly. No deep dives into our morning woes, even though we hinted at them. It was just like a quick check-in. And we both kept moving, It wasn't an invitation to sit down for an hour.
Right. It sets the tone for a quick, friendly interaction. And you notice we use those disfluencies. That's how real conversations flow. It's not a perfectly delivered scripted line.
Okay, that was great for bumping into someone you already know. Now let's switch gears a bit. What if you're meeting someone new for the first time? Say at a party, or maybe you're at a store and an employee comes up to help you.
Good idea. The stakes are a little higher there, right? You want to make a good first impression. So for this one, let's say I'm browsing in a bookstore and you work there, Taylor.
Ooh, perfect. I'm the helpful, friendly bookseller, and you're looking for... What are you looking for, Jessie?
I'm looking for the perfect gift for a very picky friend, and I'm clearly lost.
No problem at all. That happens to everyone. What kind of books does your friend usually enjoy? Or, what are some of their interests? We can definitely narrow it down.
Well, she's really into historical fiction, but also true crime podcasts. So a little bit all over the map.
Interesting mix. Okay, so maybe something like, have you heard of The Devil in the White City? It's a nonfiction true crime story, but it's set during the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, so it has that historical feel too.
Oh, that sounds actually really good. I've heard that title, but I didn't know what it was about. Where would I find something like that?
It's usually in our nonfiction section near American history, but I can totally walk you over there right now if you like.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. This way.
So in that scenario, Taylor, you started with a hi there, which was very welcoming and approachable. And then I reply with a hi, too.
Exactly. And notice I didn't say hey because that would have been too casual for a first interaction, especially in a professional setting like a bookstore. Hello would also be perfectly fine there. Maybe slightly more formal, but hi is just like a really safe, friendly go-to.
Yeah, and your tone was super important. It was really warm, inviting, not aggressive, not too loud, and you smiled, I imagine, right?
Oh, absolutely. Body language is huge when you're meeting someone new. A gentle smile, making eye contact, but not like staring them down, and having open posture so your arms aren't crossed, it all signals I'm approachable and friendly.
Right. You want to look like you're open to the conversation. Because if I was like looking down at my phone the whole time or had my arms crossed, even if I said hi back, it wouldn't send the same message.
Totally. It really sets the stage for the interaction. So, for meeting someone new, hi or hello are your safest bets paired with that friendly, approachable demeanor.
So we've talked about hello, hi, hey, what's up, how's it going? A lot of different ways to start a conversation, right?
Yeah, it can feel like a lot of options, especially when you're trying to figure out which one is like the right one for a specific situation.
Exactly. And that's really the main takeaway here, I think. There isn't just one right greeting. It really truly depends on the context, the relationship you have with the person you're talking to, and honestly, the tone you want to set.
That's so true. Like, if you're in a very formal meeting, you're probably not going to walk in and say, "What's up, everyone?" You're more likely to go with a "Hello, everyone."
Right. Or if you're bumping into your best friend at the grocery store, you're not going to be like, good day to you, good sir. You're probably going to be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, that's a great point about mirroring. A little bit. You don't have to perfectly mirror, but it's part of active listening, isn't it? Like really listening to how they greet you and then responding in kind, or just, choosing something that fits the flow.
Definitely. And don't forget the nonverbal cues we talked about, the body language, the tone of voice, even like the speed at which someone says something. All those little things add up and give you clues about how to respond and what greeting to use.
So it's not just about memorizing, use hi here, use hey there. It's about understanding the feeling, the vibe of the situation, and then choosing the greeting that feels natural and appropriate. Exactly. It's more of an art than a science, really. But the more you practice and pay attention, the more natural it becomes. And don't be afraid to make a little mistake either. Most Americans are pretty forgiving. And speaking of practice, we always want to leave our listeners with something actionable to try out in their own lives.
Ooh, I like that. So what's our challenge for this week, Jesse?
My challenge for everyone listening is to pick just one new greeting that we talked about today. Maybe it's hey or what's up, or even just really focusing on the tone of your hello and try to use it this week. Just one new one.
Oh, I love that. That's totally achievable. Don't feel like you have to master all of them at once. Just pick one that maybe felt a little scary or new, or maybe you just learned a little nuance about it and try it out with someone this week. See how it feels.
Yeah, exactly. And don't overthink it. Just, let it happen naturally. And we would absolutely love for you all to keep learning with us.
Yes.
This has been our very first episode of Live and Learn English. We are so excited to bring you weekly tips and conversations about real American English and culture, just like this.
So make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. We'll be diving into more interesting topics like slang, idioms, natural conversation flow, and all sorts of things.
It's going to be so much fun, and we really just want to help you feel more confident and comfortable speaking English in, real life situations.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for tuning in to our very first episode. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you, Taylor.
You too, Jessie, and thank you all so much for listening. We will catch you next time.
See you.